All right, guys, here we go. Let's review for test 13. Number 1, 2, and 3 are just basic sine, cosine, tangent graphs. The first one, remember those gestures we do about sine? It starts at 1, it starts at 0, goes up, down, up. Well, this one, because as a negative in the front, it's going to be reflected across the x-axis. Going to go to 2 pi. Make sure you label your axis. That's the big deal. And sine starts at 0. It usually goes up, down, up, but because it's been reflected, it goes down, up, down. I should have put the points there. It goes down there, through there, up there, and to there. Number 2 is cosine. Just there's no negatives or anything. Just straight up, just cosine. Just making sure we get a great handle on what the cosine graph looks like. Cosine starts at 1 and goes down and back up. This is, remember, this is one period of the graph, so there's cosine. And number 3 is tangent. We haven't done a whole lot of tangent this week, just Monday only. Remember, tangent has asymptotes at the pi/2, so make sure you put your asymptotes there to label those. One asymptote's going right through there, the other one's going right through the pi/2. The graph actually goes in between the asymptotes, crosses the x-axis halfway between those, and there's the basic tangent graph. Number 4, a little bit tougher now, says tell all the stuff first, and then graph it. So on number 11, I'm going to go, the amplitude is 1. The period is 2 pi divided by the 2 in front, which is just pi. The phase shift, there's no phase shift because there's no parentheses. Well, there's no addition, subtraction in the parentheses. Vertical shift also 0. There's nothing outside. So let's draw that graph real quick. Still starting at 0, so I'm going 4 ticks, but this time the 4 tick is pi. Remember, we always start our graph at the phase shift, which is 0. So that's going to be 1/2 pi or pi/2. The amplitude is 1, and it is a sine graph. So I'm going to go here, up, down, up. Connect those, and you got it. Number 12, this is actually not number 12. I know it's not. Somebody messed up the numbers. I don't know who made this test. Anyway, amplitude is 3. The period is 2 pi. There's nothing in front of the x. This one does have a phase shift. Remember, the phase shift is the opposite of c over b. C is negative pi, so I make it positive pi over b, which is 1. Vertical shift, 0. So draw this graph here. Remember, we're starting this graph at the phase shift at pi. So I'm going to start there. Then I'm going to go 1, 2, 3, 4. And because it's 2 pi away, that's 3 pi. Halfway between is 2 pi. Amplitude is 3. Going down to -3. And this is cosine. Cosine usually starts at 1. This time it starts at 3. Goes down. Remember, I'm starting it at pi also, not the x, not the y-axis, but at pi. So it's been shifted, that phase shift. 13 and 14, you don't have to graph them. Just tell everything you know. Tell all the stuff we've been doing all week. The amplitude is 2. The period is 2 pi divided by 1/2, which, by the way, is 4 pi. The phase shift is negative b, which is the opposite of c, which is pi/2, over b, which is 1/2. You need to keep, change, flip there. Keep the top, change it, flip the bottom. The 2's cancel. Phase shift is pi. Vertical shift, there's not one. 14, same kind of stuff. Amplitude is 3. Remember, amplitude's got to be positive. Period is 2 pi divided by b. 2 pi divided by 4. That's going to be pi/2. A phase shift, opposite of c over b. And the vertical shift, there's not one. Number 8, oh my gosh, this is back. It's been a while since we've done one of these. The circle problem. First of all, the center is -1 and 4, so you can put the opposite inside your parentheses. Like everything in parentheses is always opposite. Equals r squared. But what we're going to do that, it says it passes through 3/7. Why does it pass through 3/7? Because it works. All right, so I'm going to put the 3 in for the x right there. I'm going to put the 7 in for the y. 3 plus 1 is 4. 4 squared is 16. 7 minus 4 is 3. 3 squared is 9. 16 plus 9 is 25. And guys, that's your answer right there. Don't worry about those little numbers I put down there. We just did those so we could find the radius easier. Number 9, sine x is -4/5. Find the other 5. Okay, remember one thing. Sine, let me change colors here. All right, sine is y over r. Well, first of all, let me do this. Cosecant is reciprocal. That's pretty easy. All right, to find cosine, remember sine is y over r, which means in this case, y is -4 and r is 5. And don't forget the formula for r was this. R is the square root of x squared plus y squared. And cosine's x, so I need to find the x. All right, so r is 5. I don't know x squared, but I do know what y squared is, because y is sine, and it's -4. If you square -4, you get 16. So to solve that, I'm going to square both sides. Make that 25. Over here, the square root goes away. Move that 16 over and I get 9. Take the square root. Now, technically, you get plus or minus 3 here, which is correct. But we're in quadrant 3. Think about that. Quadrant 3. What is x in quadrant 3? It's negative 3. So I'm going to use negative 3. And don't forget, cosine is x over r. So it's negative 3 over r, which is 5. Secant, we're just going to flip that. Tangent is y over x. Y was negative 4. R is negative 3. So really, that's 4/3. And cotangent, you can flip that. Let's make it 3/4. Number 10, find the exact value. I'm doing the finger thing right now. I'm really thinking this. I'm really thinking, okay, power 6. Cosine power 6. Well, cosine power 6 is square root of 3 over 2. All right. Then I'm thinking, okay, what quadrant? 5/6 of the way to pi. Remember, there's pi. If I go 5/6 of the way, almost there, puts me in quadrant 2. Cosine is x. X is negative in quadrant 2. There's your answer. Number 11, small. Come on now. Small, big, cube root, square, multiply, change of sign, square. And there it is. Number 12, write the slope-intercept form of an equation of the line that passes through here, because it works, and it's parallel and perpendicular to this. Now, the slope of that line right there is 4. That's a big deal. So to find parallel, I'm going to use the same slope, but I'm going to use this point slope. I'm going y minus 6 is the slope times x plus 4, because it was a negative 4. Takes 2 steps, distribute the 4, and then I'm going to move the 6 over. If I move that 6 over, it becomes positive 6. 16 plus 6, 22. And you should be able to plug that point in and it'll work in there. So that's part A. Part B, I'm going to do the same thing, except the setup's going to be the same except for the slope. Instead of using 4, I'm going to do the opposite reciprocal, which is negative 1/4. And the same 2 steps. Distribute the negative 1/4. That's going to be a negative 1. Move the 6 over. If I move that 6 over, it becomes plus 6. Negative 1 plus 6 is 5. There's that one. 13 is our calculator. You're going to, first of all, go to L1 and L2 and punch those numbers in. So I'm going to pause. You won't know I'll pause that. I'm going to pause it and punch those numbers in real quick. And by the way, I'm putting these numbers, not the actual years. I'm putting the 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 in for my L1 and those numbers in for my L2. All right, once I get those in, I'm going to stat, hit stat, calc. I'm going to linreg, number 4. Linreg, go to calculate, hit enter, and it's going to give me, the calculator says this, y equals ax plus b, but it tells me what the a and the b are. The a was 2.39x, and the b is 12.57. So there's the model. They said use the model to predict the sales in 2015. So I got to stick the year 2015 in for x. Now, 2015 is 5 years past 2010. So I'm going to actually put the number 10 in there and see what I get. So I'm punching in 2.39 times 10 plus 12.57, and I'm getting this. I'm getting 36.4. I'm going to say 5 because they just went one decimal place over here. And this number is 36.5 billion. So 2 answers. They want the model, which is the equation, and the prediction, which is 36.5. And also, when I did that stat calc, then reg, and figuring the R, my R at that time was like 0.9997, which means that model is excellent. That's really close to being a straight line. All right, number 14 says take an absolute value function and do the transformation. And I'm gonna be honest, this has everything. Start at the beginning. Start with the negative in the front. Negative in the front reflects across the x-axis. The 3, it's a vertical stretch by 3. The plus 2 inside, shift left 2, opposite of what you think. The minus 5 outside, shift right. Now what am I saying? Outside's up and down exactly like you think. Sorry about that. Shift down, I'll get it right here in a second, down 5, exactly like you think. And number 15, I anxiously to read what you put here. I'm going to put a little answer down here. See what you think about mine. See you tomorrow.